What is up, guys? I'm coming back to you guys with a very important update on Oscar Health. Oscar Health last night missed on earnings and was down 22% in the after hours. We bought that dip down at 1160 at the bottom, and we played it all the way up to 1575 where we are now, recovering all of that 22% and then 4 more percent for around a 40% total gain from those lows. I'll go ahead and switch to the 4 hour here where you can see that we totally regained that loss yesterday, where we hit 1160 at the lows. I ended up buying it at 1228 for long-term shares. I have 500 long-term shares now, and I am moved from down $2,000 last night after earnings at one point to now up $700 just in around 24 hours time. So a pretty volatile market and a pretty volatile period for Oscar in general, but that comes with earnings, so that was expected. If you saw my video yesterday where I predicted that this would happen, they would dip on earnings and then release their year-over-year revenues, and the stock would shoot back up after realizing their year-over-year revenue is up 55%, and then they guided out another 28% for this year. So that is a very, very bullish signal. Even if they missed on earnings this time around, I'm not concerned in the slightest because I understand what long-term growth looks like, and it is Oscar Health. So we have this really, really nice green candle here. There is some indecision, but that came with the earnings. We had a lot of good bullish volume here. I do want to talk about a few things on the daily chart for the most part, and then we'll get into our long-term projections. But drawing out here, you can see that we have this clear cup and handle. And then this handle is almost, coming back down and retesting this wedge that we'll zoom out and look at in a minute. So I am expecting, a bounce off of this. And I think that's the most likely outcome. You have two bullish setups. The bears failed at their level, so they created a higher high. Everything about this chart, to me, says it's bullish. If we switch to the weekly, we are just now crossing the MACD, so it would make sense that this is one of the more bullish weeks coming out of the breakout. And I do expect that to be true. I'm going to get rid of this here, but you can see that we are retesting that breakout level on that wedge and then potentially moving higher, and that is what I expect. I have a few targets drawn out for the short term here at the 1882. This is our main break of structure, and once we get above that, I think this stock absolutely ignites itself up to that $21 and then $23 price target. And I think we see that before summer. And then I also think we probably will see around that $26 price target by around early summer, and that's at just our 618. And then we have our measured move out of the main cup and handle, bringing us up to that $45 range, which is a pretty crazy gain from here. Let's go ahead and draw that out. Let's see. From where we are today to that 45 level, that's 188% from where we are today. And then from last night's low, if you would have bought last night at 1160, that'd be 300% for you. Just that small little dip that took 6 hours. If you would have bought that dip like I suggested in our premium, you could have a possibility of making a 300% return, and we're not even at our end of year target. Excuse me. But the measured move out of the cup and handle would be towards that 45.30 range. And then kind of my end of summer price target would be this 34.70 range if I were to pull it back a little bit, which is still a insane 122%. But I do have a year-end price target of that 48 level. I think we break that 45 level and move higher up to at least this 48 level. And then I think if we can get some good extension through that, we can see that 69.79 level at that 2618 up 343%, which would be a really nice gain, of course. I do think that this is possible in the long term. It may not come at the end of the year, but I expect this by summer of 2026. And when you do, that sounds like a lot saying it right now, but if you think about it, a year and some change to make 344%. If you are not holding this name, I really don't know what to tell you. This is the number one stock I would buy on the market, and this is the number one stock that I have been buying. I'm going to show you guys my position in just a minute. But we can also draw a little parabolic. Let's have some fun. This is, a little bit of a stretch, but we could possibly see an extension all the way to that 3618, which would be up almost 500% towards that 9128 area. It's totally possible, but that is a bit of a stretch. Maybe we're talking, the end of 2026, maybe heading into 2027, something like that is possible. But you never know, the company could be completely different in Q3 of 2025, and we could see an absolute explosion. or that could come in the middle of 2026 and we see it then. So you never really know. But those are my targets for Oscar. And really reiterating that $48 price target at the minimum for year end, up a total 200% from where we are today. So a really, really nice return. But switching over here, let's go ahead and take a look at my shares. I do have 500 shares of Oscar here. And I do have an average price of 15.01. That average price was obviously a lot higher. I ended up buying some before earnings and then really doubling down after earnings. After that did take that dip, I wanted to get those shares at a discount, and I went ahead and did so. So you can see I am now up around $395, and I'm up on the day $471 after being down around $2,200 at one point. You can see that Oscar is now up 15% year to date, so we have a lot more room to run, and I do expect that to happen. I would like to get as close as I can to around 750 shares before Oscar is above $20. I don't know if I'll get the opportunity, especially if we do get this bounce, but I am happy where I am today. And I do think that by the end of this year, I will be looking at that total return number and it will have at least 4 zeros behind it. And I'm quite confident with that. And I'm very, very excited on Oscar Health, as you can tell. But that is going to be it for me, guys. That was Oscar Health and their earnings update. Make sure you guys do like, subscribe, and comment down below what video you guys want to see next. And also hit that link in the description below for our free Discord. And I will see you guys in the next video.